Hi, you're with India Post Live, and this is, of course, Cricket Caravan. Yes, your one-stop shop for all the cricket news, and IPL has been in a lot of action. So we'll be, of course, talking about IPL, but as far as India and cricket goes, you can't even dissociate politics from it. So we'll be talking about that as well. I'm Ishan Russell, and you too can participate in this conversation. You can just go to indiapostlive.com and log in and post your comments over there. You can also use Twitter, hashtag #IndiaPostLive to your tweets, or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live. Remember, this Cricket Caravan is powered by Wisden India. Wisden, of course, is the Bible of cricket in the world. So this is powered by Wisden India. We'll have experts coming in from Wisden India. Shamudas Gupta will be joining us from there. Also, Anand Vasu we're expecting to join from Wisden India. And in the studio, we have with us Mr. Vijay Lokapalli. He is, of course, with the Hindu newspaper and is a doyen as far as cricket journalism is concerned. Thank you very much for coming into the studio, sir.
Thank you.
But first, very quickly, let's set it up for all you viewers over there. So let's see what happened in IPL action and also off-field action that has been happening as far as the politics of cricket goes.
In IPL action, this week was a heady mix of politics and power plays. First, the politics. BCCI has suspended the Rajasthan Cricket Association as soon as it elected Lalit Modi as its president. It's of course come as a dampener to Modi, who had been cooling off his heels in London and still can't come to India. IPL was the brainchild of Lalit Modi, who was unceremoniously dumped as its chairman after corruption allegations. Now the on-field action. Bottom of the table, Mumbai Indians won its second straight game, defeating mighty Royal Challengers at Wankhede. In an encounter with temper soaring high, RCB bowler Mitchell Starc had an ugly spat with Mumbai batter Kieran Pollard that threatened to boil over. It all started in the 17th over when Starc was running into bowl the fifth ball. Pollard backed away from the crease. The Aussie pacer, however, still fired the ball at Pollard, getting the Trinidadian hot under the collar. Pollard flung the bat at the bowler, but luckily it slipped out of his hand and dropped near him. Pollard immediately complained to the umpire before RCB skipper Virat Kohli stepped in to defuse the situation.
Alright, so let's get the dirty work out there off our table first. Let's talk about the politics of cricket, then we'll get to the fun part about the cricket itself. But Vijay sir, Lalit Modi is back in Rajasthan Cricket Association, and Rajasthan Cricket Association is out of BCCI. Explain to our viewers what is happening as far as the politics of cricket goes.
It's very well known. I mean, it was a foregone conclusion that Modi will win, because it was well known once the elections were held that who is going to win, because they have their own internal politics going on. And as far as BCCI's reaction is concerned, that is also it was very well documented. I mean, I would have been surprised if BCCI had allowed Modi to function as RCA president, because as far as BCCI is concerned, there is no place for Modi in the administration for his anti-board activities, which we all know, and I think no association will tolerate this kind of indiscipline. I am not trying to justify every wrong that BCCI has done. Modi may have his points to prove, and like he has said, he has proved a point, he has won the RCA elections, but that does not mean he will be able to gain entry into the BCCI.
Alright, we'll try to go across to our Skype caller. Shamudas Gupta, of course, from Wisden India is here with us. We'll just try to get back in touch with him. But Vijay sir, but as far as the allegations against the BCCI go, I mean, in this charged atmosphere, I mean, the board is under a lot of pressure, and then you have the RCA being banned. Bihar is already up in arms against you. I mean, is all going well as far as cricket and governing of cricket in this country is concerned?
I think as far as governing is concerned, it's going well. If you see, Bihar has a problem because the affiliation was given to Jharkhand, and that's what the Bihar Cricket Association has been fighting. But there again, there are three associations claiming to be the association of cricket in Bihar. So that also has to be sorted out. There is Chhattisgarh waiting. It's on the verge of being recognized. So you'll have more a different kind of talent coming from Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan had done well, winning Ranji Trophy back to back. It's not an easy task. The first one where they qualified from the plate group. So I think I'll be more worried about the cricketers in Rajasthan than the cricket administration.
All right, so Shamu, we're talking about the politics of sports first. We're talking about Lalit Modi's entry or re-entry into cricket administration and how the BCCI has suspended the RCA. But ultimately, the game and the cricketers would be suffering, won't they?
But one hopes not. With vis-a-vis Rajasthan, things have been a bit awry for a while now, and you know, obviously you're right. Hope that I think the BCCI has announced that they're going to appoint an ad hoc committee to look into to run the affairs, which suggests that well, things could be fine. But you know, obviously you're right. This is not the way to run the game in a state anywhere really. Having said that, as far as I'm concerned, this was bound to happen because Lalit Modi is persona non grata with the BCCI. You always knew that the moment the results were announced and it was kind of known that Modi would win, that the BCCI were gonna take a strong stance. You knew that would happen. Now I don't know how this works because I suppose once a court-appointed observer announced the result, as it happened, therefore Modi will have certain legal. He'll be on a pretty strong wicket as far as the legal side of things are concerned, and therefore what you foresee, or what I at least foresee, is yet another round of legal wranglings between the BCCI and Modi, which again might not really go anywhere.
And do we see more tweets from Modi, more Twitter battling from Modi as well? I mean, he's almost become infamous for that.
Yeah, there's not going to be any end to that. I suppose in some cases he has a valid opinion, but then again, who knows what the truth is? Really, only selective documents have appeared. Only some documents have appeared in the media. Many of them from Lalit Modi, and therefore one doesn't really know what to make of the whole situation. Of course, Modi will continue his battle the only way he can, which is through social media. Not the only way he can, of course. There's a legal part as well. But it's going to continue. Of course, there's going to be tweets from Modi, little details being given out, and it's just gone on for so long. You don't know what to make of it.
Right. So I think let's leave it at that. Let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about the cricket and the cricket action that's been happening in IPL so far. Let's talk about the Kolkata Knight Riders, who lost 6 wickets in 8 balls. I mean, what is going on with Kolkata Knight Riders, sir? Or is this the format of the game that you just have to go and try to hit every ball, and people not even trying to play themselves in for one ball?
See, there have been similar results in the past also, so I'm not surprised. It was as if they were trying to lose.
That is what has been doing on the rounds on social media. A lot of allegations and a lot of question marks have been raised as far as KKR's performance go.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they would have deliberately wanted to lose because it was a match which they should have won easily in any case. But here, if you see, it's all, like I said, we have been discussing in the past, quite predictable, very one-dimensional cricket. Bombay kept on losing in UAE, now he'll keep on winning, and it's a turn of Kings 11 Punjab to lose a few matches, to keep the interest alive. And in normal course, if I was a coach, I would drop 3 or 4 players from yesterday's lineup, but it doesn't happen in IPL. Here you get away with all kinds of mistakes. Nobody is there to. There's no accountability. I mean, how can you explain a batsman who goes out and throws his wicket when all he had to do was play normal cricket, percentage cricket? He would have won the game yesterday. So I think they will have a lot of introspection to do.
All right, a lot of introspection. But Shamu, what do we do with these rumors on social media about this can't happen? 6 wickets in 8 balls.
No, I don't think you need to do much about that except ignore it, because that's the sad part about not just the IPL but world cricket on the whole. Anything out of the ordinary happens, these things start flying around, and social media has of course made it easier for people to express their opinions. Once upon a time, even before 2000, actually, even before we knew about match fixing, there would be things said, that the umpire's taken money, or this fielder's taken money, or this batsman's taken money. And of course, now it's become so much a part of our everyday lives that, you tend to sort of suspect everything. And I don't think that's fair. 6 wickets for 2 runs and 9 balls it's amazing. Why don't we look at it like that? I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think much of cricket is clean. At the same time, of course, everything that's happened around the IPL or stuff that we've heard around the IPL suggests that things are not clean. But if this were not clean, then it would be far too blatant, won't it? I mean, from everything I've heard, it's the little things like the no balls and a misfield or something like that. Those are the kind of spots that people talk about fixing, as it turns out. But this would be remarkable. It would mean, 5 or 6 batsmen of a particular team agreeing to corruption and so on. So I don't know. I really don't want to think about it like that. It was a remarkable sort of twist as far as the match was concerned. Yes, there have been far too many of them practically in every IPL match. I grant you that. But I wonder if we can go out and holler fixing each time something out of the ordinary happens.
All right, but the important point that Vijay sir was raising was about also application as far as the batsman was concerned. And
Shammo, I think it was poor cricket. I'm not trying to say it was a premeditated result, but it was extremely poor cricket. I mean, if you look at it from a purely cricketing view, how do you explain? How do you explain this kind of a collapse in the shortest format of the game? All you had to do was, like I said, just go out and play normal cricket. You would have won the game. There was no such pressure on you to go and start hitting every ball.
I was replying to Ishan's a question about the social media, where various things are being said about everything. No, of course it was poor cricket. You lose 6 wickets for the addition of 2 runs in 9 balls. Obviously it's poor cricket, no doubt about that. And we have seen it a few times actually, Vijay, you'd agree, in these 2020 matches, even in one-day matches, when the need of the hour really is to play sensible cricket, just knock the ball around for 1s and 2s and the occasional boundary. Suddenly there's this rush of blood and someone steps out and tries to slog and gets out, and that triggers a collapse and 3 or 4 wickets fall immediately, and the team that is in the ascendancy at that point, suddenly there's a turnaround and they go down. So yeah, these things happen. I'm not a cricketer, I'm not a coach. I really don't know how to explain this. When we've asked coaches about this, they have not been able to explain this. John Wright, for example, in the UAE where I was, kept saying things like, I really don't know what to say. We're trying things, they're not happening. So it's human nature, I guess. They will make mistakes. They won't be liked by cricket lovers like you or me. Of course, it's not nice to see batsmen making mistakes of this sort. But I suppose that'll happen, especially in the high-octane world of 2020 cricket.
all right, and in that high-octane world, team selections do matter, and Rajasthan Royals has been the pick of the teams as far as getting it right is concerned. Kings 11 Punjab seem to have gotten it right, but what about KKR? I mean, their team, I mean, you have people like Yusuf Pathan and Gautam Gambhir who are not really doing that well. So as far as team selection goes, KKR perhaps missed the bus in this one?
See, Gautam Gambhir, I still expect him to come back to a better form, right? It's not that he's going to establish himself from IPL. But Yusuf Pathan, highly overrated. I mean, 1 knock in 10 doesn't make you a batsman of international caliber. He never was. He's good enough to play first-class cricket. There again, 1 in 10 matches, he'll play a match-winning innings. But as far as Gambhir is concerned, I'll expect him to be the leader, which is everyone looks up to him, especially in KKR, where they talk very highly of his commitment to contribute. So let us wait for a couple of more matches before we come to the conclusion about KKR.
All right, Shamu, as far as KKR is concerned, I mean, sort of tables are being reversed. I mean, as Vijay sir was suggesting, that Kings 11 Punjab was winning and suddenly Mumbai Indians is winning and Kings 11 Punjab is losing. So, a lot of difference as far as playing in the UAE and back in India is concerned?
Seems so. People were talking about the pitches in the UAE not being too different from certain pitches in India. But I suppose there's a comfort factor, a Rajasthan playing in Jaipur or a Mumbai playing in Wankhede or Kolkata playing at the Eden Gardens and so on. Though of course Rajasthan is not playing in Jaipur, I'm sorry about that. But as such, I think there's a comfort factor. You remember that 7 of your 11 players are Indians in the playing 11. It's difficult to explain this because the difference in conditions would have been equally applicable to all players. But I wonder, yes, there is a pattern, like you just pointed out. Punjab winning 5, Mumbai losing 5, then turning around after coming to India, which is not a bad thing. It would have been kind of terrible if Punjab had won all 14 of their matches and gone on and Mumbai lost all 14. This makes things slightly more competitive. But yeah, having team composition, I wonder, Kolkata hasn't got it right. It clearly hasn't got it right, or at least, well, they might have got it right on paper, but the players haven't performed. So, it's both things. You might get it right, but the players don't perform, or someone just comes in as a change and starts performing well. I, for one, could never have imagined CM Gautam opening the innings for Mumbai Indians, who have been so star-heavy over the years, and Gautam's been doing so well, which is so heartening. He's been a very good domestic player, first-class cricketer as well. So those things happen. Yeah, this turnaround is interesting. It's funny, and I wonder if, unless Glenn Maxwell gets going again like he did in those first 3 games, Kings 11 have much firepower to reverse this trend now.
Would you agree with that one as far as the Kings 11 Punjab performance is concerned, sir?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's made
Only Maxwell, they're dependent only on Maxwell?
a lot. I mean, if you see how he has dominated the first 3 games, I mean, he single-handedly he's won it. So here it's a matter of, see, you can't expect one player to keep doing well all the time. You will have, there are 4 foreign players in each team, and I think if you look at this IPL, they've all chipped in at crucial stages. All these foreigners, they have helped their teams win. It's the Indians who have looked to struggle, and now the home factor will be comforting for them, definitely. They know the conditions well, so they should be able to come back in their own. Some of the Indian players, you can expect them to do well on home wickets, but I will still say it's the foreigners who are going to dominate the remaining part of the IPL league.
All right, the foreigners to dominate. If you agree with that or do you disagree with that, do write into us. IndiaPostLive.com is the website. You can go there, log in and post your comments. This, of course, is Cricket Caravan, powered by Wisden India. And you can also use Twitter to join in this conversation. Hashtag IndiaPostLive to your tweets, or use our Twitter handle at IndiaPostLive. All right, we're talking about Indian players, Vijay sir. Praveen Tambe. Talk a little bit about him, because at 40 he's bowling like, I mean, and suddenly India, like, who's Praveen Tambe? Where did he come from? And of course he's played a lot of cricket for some time now.
Mumbai, he see, in domestic, in local circles in Mumbai, he was known. I mean, they knew that he is a bowler very difficult to hit, and it's good for him. Let us celebrate a very local cricketer doing very well against some of the top international players. It's I mean, hats off to him for having kept his cool. It's very difficult when you see a batsman, a reputed batsman. It's very difficult to bowl your best, and Tambe has done well, but that doesn't mean you would expect him to do well in the next grade of cricket. He'll find it, I mean, he'll be at sea, I know for sure. So here he is good enough, he is doing well, those 4 overs which he has to bowl. So I would say he's done exceedingly well for himself and the team.
All right, at 40, Tambe, what do you say about him, Shamu?
43 actually, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Remarkable. I can't put a finger on this. It's exactly like Vijay said, that a reputed batsman will eventually see through your mysteries. Sunil Narayan is an example, an exception in this case, who's continued to do well, but most other mysteries have been solved. When it comes to Praveen Tambe, though, occasionally with Jasprit Bumrah as well, who's of course a medium pacer, continues to do well once in a way. Yuzvendra Chahal is another one who has done well this time around. It's a mystery how their mysteries have not been solved, because there's so much backroom stuff going on these days. Everyone's being analyzed. And really, how much can you do with the ball? You can swing it and you can move it off the pitch, whether you're a pacer or a spinner. So obviously, Tambe, over a year or so now, ever since the Champions League 2020 last year, which is really when he came into his own, topping the wicket takers list, has been difficult to pick. It's amazing how this bowler has come to the fore. And I don't know. I suppose he's the leader of the Rajasthan bowling attack now, isn't he? In terms of his economy rate as well as his the number of wickets he's picked. It's a really, really heartening story. I can't explain how he's doing it, except that maybe because he hasn't played too much cricket at the top level. He's played local cricket. He's played club cricket. But maybe he's not jaded, even though he's 43, because he hasn't played so much.
All right, and let's talk about a younger player, Sanju Samson. He's the future MS Dhoni.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but certainly a very good prospect. He's scored some runs. I don't think he's been very consistent in first class cricket, but he's scored some runs. But in this format, he looks absolutely outstanding. And he's not a slogger, which is something I rather like about his batting, and I'm sure Vijay will agree that he doesn't look out of sorts. He doesn't get too frazzled when the runs aren't coming. He still hits proper shots. Yes, he hits sixes and fours and has a very decent strike rate. But he's got that. He's just 19 or 20 now, and he's certainly wiser than that age of his. And he's certainly an extremely good prospect. India, of course, blessed at this moment to have a lot of good wicketkeeper batsmen, some slightly older than Sanju, of course, but Sanju certainly one for the future if he can keep his wits about him, keep his head about him, not get too swayed by the big money he's getting in the IPL and all the attention that comes and adulation that comes with the IPL. If he can keep his head about him, certainly one for the future for India.
All right, how soon would that future be possible, sir? I mean, you've seen
At least a couple of years.
At least a couple of years?
You wait and watch one more domestic season, how he performs. Because here, this is no platform. IPL cannot be a platform. It will just help you. You'll identify, okay, let us invest in this player. Let us see how he does well. And Sanju is not a product of IPL. He has come through the grind of the tournaments which BCCI is conducting. Selectors have been keeping an eye on him. They knew 3 years back that here is a boy. It's not because of IPL that he is being noticed. So, and like Shammo said, the best thing about him here is that he is playing decent cricketing shots. He is not getting swayed by the fact that his partner is playing the big shots. He is not. He's playing within his limitations. But honestly, I don't know if Shammo agrees with me. I don't want Sanju Samson to play IPL for at least a couple of years. Let him go and play domestic cricket because he is one cricketer like Cheteshwar Pujara. You can invest for Test cricket in future. Outside Virat Kohli, these are the only two batsmen I can think of who will serve you long in Test cricket.
But is it possible not to play IPL? I mean, there would be a lot of pressure. I mean, and would they want to miss out on the?
No, like Shammo made a very valid point that he has to keep his head, not get carried away by the glamour and the money which comes with IPL. And it has created wrong notions about so many players. Paul Valthati, I don't know where he is, right? And we knew the kind of attention he got. Then there was Manvinder Bisla, Shammo, if you remember. Last year, suddenly they thought of Bisla as an India player without realizing that 10 years he has been playing domestic cricket. So, if you are good, you will not escape the attention of the national selector, whose job is only to go and look for good players. And Sanju Samson is one good player other than Pujara and Kohli. And maybe I think Shammo wants to make a point.
Yeah, Shammo, you want to make a point?
Just to add, no, not really make a point, just to add, examples like Manish Pandey, Vijay, and as well as Mandeep Singh of very promising first-class cricketers, youngsters, first-class cricketers who seem to lose their way a bit. And I wonder if that losing of way was partly to do with the whole fanfare and hoopla around the IPL, where they did well as well. That is what you don't want. I'm not going to blame the IPL entirely for it. Lots of players have survived and done well.
Right.
Ravindra Jadeja being one and some others.
Who would you blame, Shamu? Who would you blame? In the sense, is the onus on the player of how much he takes in, how he gets swayed, or is it the fact that something like an IPL, I mean, is it that much pressure that the performance that you do in a match in IPL really defines your career? In a player's mind, is he giving as much importance to a Ranji match as an IPL match? I mean, you interact with them, so that's why I'm asking you.
It's a complicated question. It's not an answer that can be given in 5 seconds. He took Vijay just mentioned Manvinder Bisla, KL Rahul, Jeevan Jyot Singh. Jeevan Jyot Singh's just got 900 plus runs in 2 consecutive seasons of the Ranji Trophy. He doesn't have an IPL team, but I suspect more people will know who can I think of offhand? Jasprit Bumrah, let's say, than a Jeevan Jyot Singh, because he's on television in coloured clothes with cheergirls dancing and fireworks going off, and he's scoring runs. So or taking wickets. It does happen. The answer will probably be a much wider one. a 20-year-old boy coming from maybe a lower middle class background, hitting sixes in a 30-ball 60, and becoming an overnight hero. It's difficult to keep your head about you. It would probably have made me lose my mind, made you lose your mind if you suddenly had, a film star like Shah Rukh Khan coming and grabbing you, or giving you an award or prize or money and talking about you. It can happen. It will most probably happen, which is where education comes in. I'm not talking about formal education, but I'm talking about counseling, things that a lot of journalists have mentioned over the years. It's something that the IPL teams can do in a bigger way, but I feel they are doing by their, the side. I don't know what exactly you call them, but the mind coaching people that they have. A Paddy Upton, for example, who's with Rajasthan, is a pro at that sort of thing. There was Rudy Webster with Kolkata a few years back. I think all teams have someone like him who can just sit down a player and give him a reality check. That sort of thing is very important, which sadly is missing across the board. Some places it's there. Some people have a good guide or some sort of father figure who can help, but it's sadly missing across the board. That's something actually that the BCCI, especially because of the IPL, could think about doing in a bit more, serious sort of fashion.
All right.
I remember Kumble having spoken about this, where he said that they have to be mentored, they have to be told how to manage their finances, how to deal with the media, how to deal with their fans. But the BCCI, as always, has not really bothered. I can't remember in the last 2-3 years, from the time Kumble made that suggestion, these administrators having held classes, at least for the under 19 cricketers. I can understand first class cricketers, you don't have to press upon this point, but junior cricketers, you have to guide them. And like Shammo said, Shah Rukh Khan or Preeti Zinta, or some
Mukesh Ambani.
whoever, so they can get distracted, they can, they get false impressions about their own cricket, but the stage will come where BCCI will realize that they will have to start mentoring. Punjab Cricket Association does it. They don't allow their young cricketers to play these T20 games at all, the junior cricketers. So because they want to groom them for first class cricket. And if you are a good first class cricketer, you can always play this IPL. It is no big deal. But mentoring of these junior cricketers is very, very important.
All right, and the final question, because we have got a couple of tweets on this one as well, about the spat that happened last night between Kieron Pollard and Mitchell Starc. Shamu, I mean, heat in the middle of a very hot Indian summer and people getting excited about it. Nothing much to read into it, is there?
Well, it shouldn't happen, but it will happen every once. The way each time someone won't throw his bat across the pitch, but these things will happen whether we like it or not. Honestly speaking, to be very honest, I like it. I don't want someone to hit someone else with a bat, but I think there should be a bit of spice of this sort. I don't want people to be abusing too much personally, but I think there should be a bit of character shown. If a human being feels a bit frustrated about something, he should be able to show it. Not cross lines. Yes, there should be lines. Of course, there should be lines, but we should get too strict about it. I think we need to look at the background of the players, whether they have had a series of similar offences, and see whether it's the heat of the moment that got to him, or it's something else. But these things will happen once in a way, and we'll have to live with it. I know it's not a popular sort of thing to say that these things will happen, and I don't mind it. But that's really how it is.
It's a little bit of fun, is it?
No, I think it sets a bad example, because if you're international players, right? I think they were doing it for the franchisees, not for the spectators or for the viewers. It was needless. And Shammo, you'll understand my point, because youngsters watch them, and tomorrow don't be surprised if you see some young kid in a local tournament throwing his bat like Pollard, and trying to ape him, because you get influence. As a young mind, you will be influenced by what you see on television. So here I think they will have to learn to set better examples of competitive cricket than just abusing or throwing. See, aggression means, I remember Gavaskar's aggression. If he would get sledged, it would make his resolve to stay at the pitch longer. Or maybe, if like Pollard yesterday, I mean, how he responded with the boundary, right? That aggression is acceptable, and but not abusive language, and it doesn't help you. I mean, it sets bad example.
All right. On that note, yeah, shall we go ahead? Final comment.
Yeah.
Sorry, you missed that comment. Go ahead.
I agree with Vijay. It's just that I meant that there should be a line that shouldn't be crossed, and throwing the bat is crossing that line. Absolutely.
All right. On that note, I think we've completely run out of time. Thank you very much, Shamu and Vijay Sakaf, coming in, two of my favorite sports journalists. So thanks so much for coming in. This is, of course, Cricket Caravan, powered by Wisden India. Wisden India is, of course, the Bible of cricket across the world. So go look up Wisden India. They have a fabulous website. You can go check out articles by Shamu and Anand Vasu and all these people over there. They have experts writing in over there. And, of course, read the Hindu for Vijay Lokpalli. All right. On that note, or you can catch them both on India Post Live. We'll wrap up over here. Thanks so much for watching.